at you and just stand next to you. They come around and stand next to you. Here, the left side's the healing side.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, left side. Not right, left. I don't think so. They go
That's what it is.
That's
Okay.
what it is,
All right.
yeah.
Cool.
Left side's the heal, left, your left is where they heal.
Okay. All right.
And then after you do that, and you walk her, you just say heal. Hold release in the right hand, slip it through the left, and then just walk.
Okay.
Yeah, heel's left side, but how often do you heal it? I'm not gonna show you all right.
No. Okay.
But that's really what the heel is.
All ready?
Good time.
What was your name again?
Noah.
No. Thanks for joining us.
To be here.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the City of Safety Harbor Commission meeting of Monday, August 18th. At this time, I would like to call the Reverend Jeff Davis to please come forward. He's from the First Presbyterian Church of Safety Harbor. So if everyone would please stand up and then remain standing for the pledge of the flag.
Please pray with me. God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this opportunity to assemble and the freedoms that you have given us. God, just allow this time to be fruitful. Allow this time to have meaning and purpose in the goals of Safety Harbor. And we thank you for all that you're doing and all that you've blessed us with. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Reverend. All right, we have no presentations today, so we're just going to roll right into audience to be heard. So if there's anyone in the audience that wants to be heard on an item that's not on the regular agenda or that's on the consent agenda, please come forward, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to address the commission. Okay. So we now have one public hearing, which is adoption or denial of ordinance 2025.
Your consent.
I'm sorry. Skip that whole section. We have 5 consent agenda items. I just assumed nobody wanted to pull anything. No. So we got first one, approval of the August 4th meeting minutes. Second, approval of a contract with Southern Integrated Systems for installation of an access control system for City Hall in the amount of $31,000. Number 3, approval of a CCTV camera installation contract with Southern Integrated Systems for $50,000. Number 4, approval of Kimley Horn Associates proposal for the Meese Drive safety analysis in the amount of $53,000, and approval of a purchase of a 2026 Ford F-550 cab and chassis with VersaLift aerial device from Allen J. Automotive Management for $174,000. Does anyone want to pull any of this?
I'd like to pull number 4.
All right. Anyone want to make a motion?
Move approval 1 through 4.
Second.
Oh,
You want to amend that to 1, 2, 3, and 5?
yes, 1, 2, 3, and 5, sorry.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
So I think it's probably going to be for you. Yep, so I think it's probably okay. I just wanted to get a little more context in it, maybe, and then just vocalize what it is we're doing here. So my understanding is it's the crosswalks over on by the hospital, right?
Yeah, it's the area on Meese Drive and Millray Drive. There are some pedestrian crossings there. Meese Countryside approached the city and worked with Renee Cooper on some of the pedestrian concerns. There's been some near misses and at least one injury in that area. So we developed a scope of services with Kimley Horn to have them do data collection, to do some stakeholder coordination, actually meet with representatives of the hospital and talk about some of the safety concerns out there. And then they'll do some analysis of the sort of turning movements and crossing movements. And then finally, they'll do a couple of concept plans for pedestrian improvements to see how they can get people across Meese Drive more safely.
Okay. So I think the question would be, it seems excessive to have a study, and I'm going to answer this, fill in the blanks if it's rhetorical, but it seems excessive to have a study. It's a simple crosswalk, and the question, why can't we do our own engagement with the hospital to come up with a solution? We're going to have to spend money for whatever the solution is anyway. But did I tease out of there that we think that there's a likelihood that an all-way stop might be warranted there? And do we have to have like some engineered backup in order to justify that all-way stop?
I don't know if an always stop is proposed, but if you do want to put in a stop sign, it does have to meet warrants. So it does require a traffic engineer to go in and make sure that that four-way stop is warranted. The types of evaluations that they'll be doing, we don't have that expertise on staff. We don't have a traffic engineer on staff, so they'll be doing some analysis of some of the turning movements and crash data that, so the engineering measures that'll go into the design, we think does warrant a traffic engineer. And I did want to mention that two representatives of Meets Countryside are here,
Okay.
Maury Catania and Dwayne Traster, thank you. And they'd be happy to come up and answer any questions about the concerns that they have.
Okay.
I want to piggyback that, just, I guess, in working with Meese, I would assume, I mean, we have residents that live back there, I believe. There's a community back there
Yeah.
behind the hospital, but at the same token, I would imagine a lot of the traffic, or at least 50%, is there going to be a way they're going to be able to tell what's hospital traffic and what is residential traffic? Because what's going to end up happening is, I'm certain if you put a four-way stop, or you put a stop there, I guess just an all-way stop, you're going to have some doctors that are upset, you're going to have patients that are upset. I mean, it's a pretty big medical, I guess, complex, and I don't know, to me, it looks like the fix, and I think they did put a crosswalk over there. I haven't been back there in a while, but I know there's a crosswalk over Meese now.
Yeah, and
so-
this is the area further to the east.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the area of Millray Drive. They will actually be doing field evaluations to see where those cars are coming from. So they'll be out in the field doing counts. So would you like to have the representatives from the hospital come up and?
Sure, I
You guys
mean,
came all
it's
the
always
way out
good to
here.
hear what their input is or what their suggestions are.
Yeah, I'm Dwayne Traster, I'm the facilities manager at East Countryside Hospital. We've had at least 2 accidents where pedestrians have been hit in the last 5 years out there in that intersection. We have near misses almost every single day. It doesn't seem like the traffic will heed the warnings, even though there's blinking lights and all those types of things, and we put, crosswalk signs in the middle of the road that are on pedestals and things like that. It just seems like everybody's in such a hurry, and it's so congested because of all the traffic that's coming in and out by our MAB, the neighborhood traffic and everything else, that it really is unsafe out there. And I'm just, we're all afraid that, eventually something bad could happen out there and somebody could get hit and, be drastically hurt and or killed. But it's definitely, because of the fact you got Meese Drive that splits our campus, and you got the parking on the north side of Meese Drive, and you've got the hospital on the south side of Meese Drive. It is very, very unsafe for pedestrian traffic, because people just don't sit, they don't seem to care. They just blow on through there. They want to make sure they hit the light at the corner of Meese Drive and McMullen Booth, and because that light is a little lengthy there. I mean, you could sit there almost 5 minutes waiting on it to change. And, I've seen it myself where it's green and people just race on down there to make that green light. So, anything that the city can do to help us to make that a safer roadway. There's 2 crosswalks down there, actually. One down there where the bridge is over the top, and then one further east down by our MAB building. But anything that the city could do to help us to make that a safer intersection for, the people that come and visit the hospital, would be much appreciated.
I have a quick question. So from your perspective, not scientific yet, but from your perspective, from what you've observed and experienced over the last 5 years, is the majority of traffic that, I guess, is contributing to the issue here, just from the neighborhood coming through, trying to
It's a
make the light, or is it a
combination.
combination?
It's a combination of all of it.
And are,
It's just extremely, extremely busy.
I guess the question is, I mean, putting a light, like a stoplight up there, I don't know that that's necessarily the answer. I think we're gonna get a lot of blowback, but is there not a flashing light for pedestrians to push and then cross, or that's?
There is, there's actually two of them, one at each crosswalk, but
Yeah, no
people
one
don't pay
cares.
attention to it.
And so really the idea of getting Kimley Horn involved is to look at, are there other design measures we could take to emphasize the pedestrian crosswalk, whether it's some
Speed
traffic
bumps.
calming with some bulb outs, maybe the, just the configuration of that crosswalk and where the flashing lights are. I mean, it really is a design problem to be solved.
I'd want to just, my concern here, I 100% think that we could make improvements on that. Because I drive that, my wife actually works at the skilled nursing facility right around the corner, so she's down there all the time as well. And in the few times I've driven down there, I've had a couple of near misses too. People that I didn't see, watched other people get over. So I 100% think that we've got some improvements to make that intersection safer. What I wanted to state here, and for our residents to hear if they're listening, is why we're paying $58,000 for a study, when sometimes a crosswalk like this seems like we could just come up with a solution and do it, because we're gonna have to pay to fund the project anyway. And I feel studied to death a lot of times up here. But digging deeper, in order to give us, and tell me if I'm right or wrong on this, in order to give us all of the options, that we are going to need an engineered study to back it up anyway. So if we just get together on our own and decide a stop sign or a stop light is warranted, we gotta go back to somebody like Kimley Horn to do the study to get us there anyway. We might as well do it from the start. Is that what we're thinking here?
That's correct, and one of the factors that contributes to the cost is they are actually doing some drawings for us. So once they identify the potential solutions, they'll do preliminary design and produce cost estimates that we can use to budget the improvements.
I have a question. As I'm listening, I'm thinking about a pedway. It would be an incline. The pedestrians would be up. But would that be just completely impractical, or would that be something that they'll consider to get them away from the traffic? They have,
So there's
There's currently an elevated,
there is
Yeah,
one from
so
the
there's-
parking garage, but I mean east, toward the park. You're talking about toward that park.
Yes.
Is there any way to make something like that, like you have at the parking garage? And would that cost a lot more than $53,000?
Oh, I'm sure. it
Yeah.
would.
Would?
Just
Okay.
engineering study alone.
and
Okay.
a lot of these questions, right, this was definitely in our complex case group that we talked about, and it was, I brought up very similar questions, what's out there right now, what can we do? But it all comes back to, right, these are all great ideas, whether maybe it is another overhead walkway, maybe it is another light or a speed bump, but we don't know. We just don't have that staff member on duty in-house. So great for them to go back and evaluate it. And, there's at least 50 residences back there. There's multiple doctors' offices and businesses, and Meese, it's a very busy area with an active emergency room. And I think with all the stakeholders involved, that's what Kimley Horn, being one of your engineers on contract that we already have, is why you have them on contract to do that background work for us, so you all can make the best decision.
Okay, well, thanks.
I think it's very complicated. I mean, I think it's a lot more complicated than putting a red light. In my opinion, right, I think it's very visually complicated, the whole area. Because if you're driving down there, you have on one side the parking garage, you got a driveway here, so you're looking, and you're trained as a driver to be kind of swerving this way and this way. but you see cars coming this way, but they're in their parking lot. Cars coming over here, another parking lot. You got the walkway over, people walking. So there's a lot of information being thrown at you at one point, and all of a sudden somebody walks in a walkway, you know, and somebody who's, and a lot of people walking the walkway have this premonition that people are seeing them and they're gonna stop, but, I think it's very complicated. I think it's gonna be difficult to get a red light or a flashing red light or a better speed bump, or I think it's gonna have to be something where you block off some of keeping, maybe Kimberly Horn focusing on what drivers are seeing. Because I've driven down there, unfortunately, too many times, and I'm always like looking and, you see people, who's going to cross you? And then all of a sudden, something, you also got the ambulance in and out. Sometimes the ambulance is parked in the middle there of the road, lights. It's going on pretty, it's very busy.
I would agree.
Yeah, I appreciate everybody. I thought it was appropriate to talk out just a little bit, and help everybody understand why we need to spend the money to do it the right way. I think just surface level, somebody goes, oh, this would be easy to solve. But it's not. It's not as easy, right? And so I appreciate y'all talking through that for
Well, and I
everybody
think
to
this
hear.
would be definitely a step in the right direction.
If it could prevent somebody getting injured or
I mean, what price do you put on safety?
a leg or, just a leg or an arm alone, it's $50,000 is nothing, At least my leg or arm, I don't know about yours.
I've never priced them out.
Never priced out the anatomy.
Okay,
All right.
I will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. On
How
that
much is
note,
that?
you're a ball player, you think like that? Yeah, good.
All right, I will move approval of Kimberly Horn and Associates proposal for the Nice Drive safety analysis in the amount of $48,000 plus $5,000 contingency.
We already have the second before you finish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, now we have public hearings, and we have one item, which is adoption or denial of ordinance 2025-01. So Noah, do you want to read that resolution?
Ordinance number 2025-01, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Safety Harbor, Florida, amending the 5-year capital improvement schedule of the comprehensive plan pursuant to section 163.3177, subsection 3, subsection B, Florida statutes, providing for severability and providing for an effective date.
Good evening, Carol Strickland, Community Development Director. This is adoption on second reading of ordinance 2025-01. There have been no changes since first reading, and staff recommends approval.
Anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this item? Any discussion or a motion?
I'll move adoption of ordinance number 2025-01.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Now we have new business. First item is we're looking for one alternate member for the Code Enforcement Board.
Thank you, Mayor. Ms. Sylvia Maracas, as an alternate member, was recently removed from the board due to lack of attendance. We did receive 2 applications from Greg Childers, who currently serves on FAC, and Lindsay Schaefer. If Mr. Childers is appointed, he will be required to resign from the FAC. It is requested that the City Commission appoint one alternate member to CEB.
I'll, got a couple of questions here. So, one, Ms. Maracas, didn't we just place her on planning and zoning last week too? Do we know
Yes.
if the attendance issue is, like,
She didn't,
is she committed to that board? Do we know? That, like,
she
the new
said
board
she
would
is,
bring-
she's very
Okay.
interested in the board. She didn't, I don't know why she missed the
Okay.
meetings on the other board.
Just want to make sure we had touched base where there wasn't going to be something we're circling back to. I spoke with Greg Childers prior to this to get his take on it. I think he wanted to serve on code enforcement. He ranked that high on his application list, but he's just been placed as the chair of the finance committee since he's been put into there, and
Okay.
expressed to me that he he thinks at this point,
Great.
the finance committee could use a little help, maintaining quorum and getting where they need to go, and he'd like to see that through. So with that in mind, I'd recommend Lindsay Schaefer to take this role.
All right, anyone from the audience want to be heard on this item? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 5-0. Now we're looking for 5 members for the Sustainability Advisory Board.
So the City Commission created the Sustainability Advisory Board via resolution number 2025-02. This resolution calls for 3 of the members to serve 3-year terms and 2 of the members to serve 2-year terms so that the board will have offsetting terms in the future. We did receive 7 applications. Out of all of those applications, only 1 did not meet the requirements, and that's Cameron. It is requested that the City Commission first appoint 3 members to serve the 3-year terms and then appoint the 2 members to serve 2-year terms.
Can I jump in on this one too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So first, now that we've got this huge audience in here, nobody can see the audience on TV anyway, but I'm really excited about this board. And I just want to say I'm excited about this board. I want to thank the rest of my fellow commissioners and mayor up here for supporting forming this board, and then especially Renee and Rachel and all the staff, all the work that you've done to put it into code form and get it up here and get it going. And then I'd also like to acknowledge we've got some really high quality candidates in here. If you've read through the applications, I'm really impressed with several of them. So I'm just excited about this. I'm excited to see where it goes. So that being said, my recommendation, we're being asked to come up with 3 for a 3-year term, 2 for a 2-year term. Looks like that's 2 different motions, potentially. So to focus on the top 3, I think 3 of them stood out to me, and that was Dr. Jennifer Cedillo, Ivana, I can't say that last name. I thought that I could.
Okay.
Ivana Kay and Mr. Gary Rosenberg. Those to me are the top 3, just from their backgrounds and past involvement and everything else.
I can tell you, I like to see Jan Tracy as one of the
I would too.
3 that get a 3-year term, because I don't know if you've seen her around. It's kind of like Joe Casey every weekend. Not only does she have a good background for that and an interest in it, but she is very active in the community without serving on a board. And quite frankly, I like to see her as one of the 3 with a 3-year term. So yes, I like to see Mr. Rosenberg with a 3-year term, because I think he's also very active and very vocal, and he understands it and has a good perspective on it. And I think he'd be a very active individual on the board. And I think Dr. Cedillo obviously has a pretty good background. So I'd like to see those 3 get the 3-year term.
Okay.
But and then as far as a 2-year term, I think that would leave, my understanding is Cameron doesn't have the qualifications.
He's out.
I'll make a motion
Good. For the
with
top
those 3, yeah.
Go ahead.
The second?
Yeah, that's a second. For the top 3 being Dr. Jennifer Cedillo, Gary Rosenberg, and Jan Tracy. I'll second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. I'd just make a note that Jan, on her application, considers herself an expert in roadside litter.
I did see that.
And she picks it up every day.
I always hear.
And I can't read this word, but she's adopted 2 streets in Safety Harbor, so good choice.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
let me take a stab at the 2-year term people. Ivana Kechtovchik and Lisa Hinton. And Ivana's geosciences, and Lisa is a Sierra Club member, so.
That's where my head was at too. Yep.
I'll second.
All those, anyone from the audience wish to be heard on this item? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Congrats to all the new members of the board. And now we're looking for a representative to the Pinellas Opportunity Council.
Thank you. The city is a member of the Pinellas Opportunity Council and is entitled to appoint one representative to the Board of Directors. The representative may be an elected official, but is not a requirement. Ms. Samantha Moulet recently resigned from the POC. The POC strives to combat poverty in Pinellas County. The POC meets virtually at 4 p.m. every other month. The next meeting will be held on September 23rd. Members must be available to regularly attend meetings and training sessions. Seats are 5-year terms, but require annual reappointment. It is requested that the City Commission appoint one rep to serve on the POC. And the other option as well, if none of the board is interested in serving on the POC, we can also advertise as well and then bring back some applications.
You said it's a reappointment every year?
Yeah, so it's 5-year term, but they make you reappoint every year.
I'm just curious if, unless somebody's got, I mean, I loved the idea that we went outside of the commission for this, and Samantha was just like the perfect fit for that when we did it. So I'd love the idea of finding another person like that, but I don't have anybody in my pocket. I talked to a couple people, and they sort of expressed interest, but they're not here to be appointed, or haven't, told me they'd be a go yet. So I'm interested in what anybody else thinks, but if need be, I'd be willing to serve on it with the idea that maybe at one of those annual appointments, a resident might step into it instead.
I'd like to continue this, and in the meantime, reach out to one of the residents in Safety Harbor. I think Neil Brickfield, I'm not sure, does Neil serve on that? Do you know if he's not currently on that, is he? But he's I guess he's the director of affordable housing for Pinellas County, I think it is.
The Housing Authority.
Housing Authority, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see if we could possibly reach out to him, because I think it would be, he's serving, he's in that, kind of like Samantha was. He's in that community, and it may be a good opportunity for us to have someone that understands and would be involved with that. So I'd like to, unless someone's got someone else that they'd like to appoint.
I'd also like to make a note that whoever serves Safety Harbor has to either be a resident, they have to live or work in Safety Harbor.
Yeah, he resides in Safety Harbor, North Bay Hills. But that's the only name I can think of at this point.
Are you offering your name because you don't think we have anyone? Or- Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's also, aside from him, I think Neil would be excellent, but we may look at charities, like maybe the Kiwanis or.
I'm not opposed to reaching out to them to see if,
Somebody,
More than happy, what we could do is, we could table this, bring it back to another, commission meeting. We could advertise as well as reach out to, Neil, unless the commission wants to go another way. If you want me to just reach out to Neil, that's up
You
to.
want Josh to reach
and
out?
I'd also reach out to the Neighborhood Family Center to see if there's someone there that resides in Safety Harbor that might want to serve as well.
Well, it's live or work, because that happened to Samantha. I think she lived here, and then she moved and was afraid she would be removed from this council, but because she still worked at Mattie Williams, she was eligible. So it's live or work in Safety Harbor.
So, just for clarity, you'd like me to reach out to Neil, and advertise and reach out to, some local, charitable organizations?
Yeah.
Just get the word out, and then reschedule this item for another meeting?
Or do you want to do, reach out to Neil, see if he's interested? If not, reach out to the other ones?
We have time.
Yeah, I'd like to table it and then see who and reach out to a few people in the community, see if we can, if no one wants to serve, then,
Yeah, one of us can do it.
situation.
Okay, we'll, happy to bring this back to another meeting.
And if we
With
find,
names, and you all are still more than welcome to, jump on there.
If we
if
find
we-
someone, submit it.
if we
submit
find
the name.
candidates, do we push them Rachel's way?
Please, yes.
There's not an application for this or anything.
No.
We just need to get
We'll get it to Rachel.
our options on the table. Okay.
Since this item was on the agenda, we'll need a motion to continue it.
I'll move to continue this to another meeting.
Next regular meeting, or?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, we are now up to our commission reports. Commissioner Basur, do you want to lead us off?
Yes, Mayor, actually, I don't have a report. I've been grieving my sister, and I would like to thank all who've reached out to me with condolences. She did pass away from her cancer. And I want to reiterate how thankful I am to Pastor Davis, Jeff Davis, who reached out to her before her passing and was a person of comfort. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Okay, Commissioner, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, Nancy, once again, my condolences to you.
Thank you.
And my family.
Thank you.
Yeah, yesterday I attended the Glenn McKinney Memorial. Glenn McKinney was very active in Safety Harbor for a long time in the political arena. He was there during some pretty difficult times, but during all those times, Glenn was just a class act. He was always a class act, and he was above and beyond the political differences that existed at that time in the city. As far as my personal involvement with Glenn is that I met him, he would stand back there in his 6'5", staring at me and talking about his differences with what the commission was doing at the time. At the end of the day, every time I would go out, he would just greet me with a smile, and he would just shake my hand, and he was just a lot better than a lot of people in the fact that he treated people like people should be treated with respect, and he will be missed quite a bit. Aside from that, after that time in Safety Harbor with politics, he was very involved in Main Street. He was going around and he was friends with everybody. In fact, he came to my birthday party this past December, and he was just an unbelievable and lovable person. And I'll miss him quite a bit. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Burnett?
Thank you, Mayor. I really am proud about our sustainability board. I'm excited to see it up and going. Really can't wait to hear some report outs on where we're headed with that and the ways we can leverage that advisory board to engage with public, engage with us, and everything else. So really excited for that. This last weekend, I went to the Florida League of Cities Conference. Thank you very much for sponsoring me to go to that. It was in Orlando. It was 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, very long days, working hard, but really exciting, great stuff. So classes, I got my ethics course in person. That was incredible. To see it, it's so much better in person than when you're watching it online. Sat through how to manage the Doge initiative. Actually, the guy that's the executive director of the Doge program from Florida came and spoke with us, and we got to hear kind of all of that. We met with a couple of lobbyists to talk about navigating the legislators in Tallahassee and how it is we can get into their doors, the different avenues we can use, and how we get our asks across to them, both in committee weeks and in session. So with the committee weeks, I still intend to try to navigate some sort of trip up there. I've been appointed as third VP for the Suncoast League, so I'm on the executive committee, which affords me to go meet during committee weeks, sponsored by the Suncoast League. So I intend to do that, and then hopefully get with JD and the Schumacher folks to maybe get us a happy hour and get some FaceTime after that. So looking for some opportunities for us to get over in the state. I also got to attend a couple of classes on emotional intelligence and then one on marketing your city. And there were several that I wasn't able to get to, but it was great. I had a huge exhibit hall, and you wouldn't believe the amount of watershed management people were there. So I got a lot of cards, a lot of booklets, everything else. Some of them grant programs that we might be able to tap into. Others were product sales that felt like they had solutions to all of this. So really some great things. I engaged with each of them, told them where we were coming from, got cards. We'll be doing some follow-ups to see if what we're doing can put us in a position to receive some funds or receive some help for our city and our watershed. The connected with the National League of Cities, turns out we pay us dues to be on the National League of Cities as well. So I've got an engagement going on with the rep there to potentially be on some advocacy committees with them. They only have like 7, but a couple of them speak to what we need here in Safety Harbor. Maybe one of us can jump in on that. Connected with many local municipal officials there. Actually, one of my friends is here in the audience from that conference. So it was really great to build those connections. I know a lot of you have given me that advice to go and learn and ask what other people are doing, and it was great. I want to remind everybody, the Florida League of Cities, probably as much as anything, is trying to fight for home rule. Their slogan is local voices, local choices. Try to get in there and mitigate the preemption that we're seeing and going up against. So I'm going to stay close to that league and try to do the best I can to represent them and then represent Safety Harbor's interests within it. So thank you so much for letting me go to that. It was a blast. The Suncoast League of Cities, a regional player of that, we are hosting here in Safety Harbor for September 19th. So we'll send some notice out to the rest of you if anybody wants to pop by for that lunch at our new upstairs library. And then last, I know I said this before and it got shifted, but I will be absent the next meeting. I'll be headed back overseas for a couple of weeks. But I think that's Labor Day. Are y'all meeting on Labor Day?
We'll meet Tuesday, September 2nd.
Okay, so I will be absent Tuesday, September 2nd. And that concludes my report.
All right, Commissioner Stengel?
Thank you. Commissioner Burnett, thanks for picking up and carrying us through the league. There's a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of connections to make, and I always found it very helpful, having those connections and actually getting all that additional information to bring to the commission, because there's so much more out there that we're kind of working in a box here. And unless we get this new information, it's hard to kind of see different directions on different things. So I did want to bring up the Live Local Act, which I brought up last time. And I want to bring it up, and I want to address our residents, anybody who ends up watching this. We need your input. There's a potential 2 developments on 590, State Road 590 at McMullen Booth. In that area, and there potentially would be another probably 500 plus residents moving into that area, which I guess they're trying to potentially build pursuant the Live Local Act. So the public's not really going to be alerted to what's going on. So I did get one of our residents, I don't know if everybody else received his response. I did get another resident's input as to the position that I voiced. He was against it only because he felt that we would receive reprisals from the governor. But I want to hear from our residents. I really wish people would chime in because before you know it, it's going to be on the doorstep, and we need to hear right now so we can determine, is this something that the community wants to take action against, or do we just go along with it, pick up another 500 residents and determine really, is it affordable housing or is it not affordable housing? So please write your commissioners, email us, voice your opinion about the additional 500 potential residents moving to Safety Harbor in this potential development. Nancy, my condolences. I did attend the yesterday's celebration of life for Glenn McKinney. Glenn, I was on vacation when he passed. I think last contact I had with him was right before I left to go to Europe. So, but I used to have coffee with Glenn probably 3 to 4 days a week. We met so often, my wife would just say, I'm not meeting you at the coffee shop because you're going to be with Glenn. But anyway, I guess to sum up, Glenn, he was the epitome of our citizens here in Safety Harbor. We're, believe it or not, I mean, just attending yesterday's, celebration of life, you look around and you go, wow, this community is really special. I mean, people come out, and they show their love, they show their friendship, and that's what Glenn was to everyone. I wrote down here, he was a friend to every citizen, and he was an enemy of no one. He just was just a regular nice guy. He may not agree with you, but he's just a nice guy. So again, I think we've got a lot of citizens here in Safety Harbor. He'll be missed. My prayers to his family and during this time of loss. But he lived a great life. He traveled. I mean, I was looking at my emails going back to 2022. And he's like, I'm going to Poland, going to Israel. He was in Israel on October 7th. And he would send me on my cell, I'm writing him like, I hope you're not, around this craziness. And he'd text me back of all the locations that were being bombed by Hamas. And he was like, I'm over here, I'm not there, this and that. But anyway, he lived his life to the fullest. So again, he'll be missed in the community. So that's all I've got. Thanks.
Well, thank you. And Nancy, again, my condolences for the passing of your sister. I didn't know that Glenn McKinney passed until you just said something. I'm trying to get caught up now on Facebook here, and I'm a little shocked because I had developed I thought a pretty good friendship with him. And I actually first met Glenn, what year was it? It's probably 2013, 14. I was running for a commission seat, and he was holding signs for my opponent. But every time I saw him, he couldn't be nicer. And I was like, this probably, I had a hard time trying to figure that out. But then afterwards, years later, we started talking. He's just such a nice guy. He's always, and I'd see him out walking early in the morning because he was doing his early morning walks, and we'd have these pretty good conversations about where are you going next? Where's your next trip? Where are you traveling? He's always going somewhere, doing something really exciting, and asking about the family. So I'm kind of in shock right now. I'm just learning about this, but thoughts and prayers to his family. And the other thing I just want to mention is the improvements to the living shoreline are coming along really well. I don't know if you see the pictures online or not. Thank you to Fred Burchard for capturing those drone footages of the progress. There was a video showing the crane moving the big boulders, back and forth, and it's just coming along beautifully. So that's great, and the pilings are going in for the pier. I had a good question to Renee about how they actually, how one of the components of that works, and she filled me in on that. But it's coming along good. I think we're making good progress on these big projects. I know when I'm out and about, people are always asking me, what's going on with the pier? And, so it's good to get them up to speed on that. That's all I got. Josh?
Sure, Mayor. Just a couple of announcements and reminders. In September, your Labor Day meeting is September 2nd. That's a regular meeting. And then your next regular meeting in September is Monday, September 15th. I bring this up just to remind you, you have two special meetings on the other Mondays. So we'll have you each Monday in September. Those special meetings are on September 8th and September 22nd at 6 p.m. Those should be on your calendars. I did send you an email that our new library director, Brittany Norsworthy, will be starting September 15th. We're excited about her being a member of the team, and we're sad that Lisa will be departing September 30th. So we've already begun our transition work with myself, with Lisa, the Human Resources Director, and library staff. So trust that there should be no negative impacts at all to those who visit our library regularly, and we're excited about the new opportunities ahead. And definitely working with Lisa as she's transitioning out. On September 13th, just a reminder from Renee, there will be a free community workshop regarding tidal creeks. That'll be on like I said, September 13th, which is a Saturday, from 10 to 3 at our library. Just to announce that online here, and I'll be sure to put that on your calendars as well this week, Commissioners. Mayor, that concludes my report.
What do we have coming up on Saturday? There's a,
This Saturday?
it's something,
We
That's
do.
it.
We have coffee with, thank you. We have coffee with a cop at the Starbucks this August 23rd from 9 to 11.
you can make coffee with a cop? Come on out.
Yes, sir.
Noah, do you have anything?
I do not, thank you.
Could I say something? Our
Yes.
former policeman was promoted, correct? Does everybody know this?
I
Jim,
believe so.
you all know this? But that's why we don't have Jimmy.
I think so.
Okay,
I think
because
it
he
is.
got promoted.
Okay.
I believe, yes. I believe it was promoted, yes, ma'am.
So goodbye. Tell him bye. Thank you.
Can we call you the new Jimmy? We'll go with that one. All right, all, thank you. Meeting's adjourned.
I didn't even know it. I didn't know
right,
why
Jimmy,
he
all right.
disappeared.
Did you meet up with your neighbors? Okay, I have to do this first.
When do you go out? When are you out?